Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dirt Green Steel. So this morning we're going to work on trying to get the MC back together, maybe get it back completely together by this evening. So we're going to start working on the clutch here. We've got the balls put back in their sockets. We put some real tacky grease on them to hold them in there so that they don't fall out while we're trying to put the throwout bearing and all this together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this back in here, and there it is. So the balls are all where they belong. Everything's lubed up. You need to make sure that all this is cleaned up and greased up, because this has to move freely, because it only relies on four of these springs to move it. So these springs might be a little bit tough. Let me get some vice grips here and see if I can get them hooked. I swear the next time I do one of these crawlers, I'm going to leave it sit on the tag trailer so I can stand on the floor and work on these clutches, because they're kind of a bear to work on the floor because they're so short. If we done it off the side of the trailer, it'd be much simpler. There we go. There's one spring. And we got 3 others put on. We'll put this one here, I believe. And that one will hook in there. Oops. Didn't have them quite tight enough. I could have left the hooks a little bit bigger on them. That would have been nice of them. There we go, there's that one. Okay, so I'll get the other 2 put on, and then we'll move on. Now that our clutch return springs are all back on, we're going to move on to putting our turnbuckle on that actually actuates the clutch. Goes up to the lever. So we got a new one of these from John Deere Crawler Parts. Well, it's probably new old stock, but it's a lot better shape than what came out of it. Let's see, that goes in that hole. Hopefully get it lined up there. I might have to take it back off up here. Why ain't we going? Huh. You sure made that long enough. There we go. We need to start it here first. There we go. That seems awfully long, don't it?
Might have to shorten it.
Might have to. Might not be the right exact one. We'll see. Maybe that will all thread down in there.
It will. I don't think it's going yet.
Yeah, it's going over.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. So we'll get this put on, and we'll show you later. We got the turnbuckle on. It just had to do a little finagling to get it in there. But it's on, and them threads do thread all the way down in there. Just some really long threads, that's for sure. So now we'll get that tightened up. And then this part will be finished. And we'll move on to, I think, putting our brake band in. And putting a new linkage on for it that we've actually got with it, so that it works properly. Now we can try it, I guess. Oh, that's nice. That'll work good. So now here's our brake band. Actually, it's right here. So if I remember right, this goes like so. Yep, just like that. Now the piece that we didn't have before, this linkage goes from here to here. So when you hit the foot pedal, it pulls on the brake. So we'll get some pins and some cotter pins and get that all put in. And then I think we're ready to put the final drive back on.
Yep, and then we'll adjust it up.
Yep. So let's stay at it. I think we can maybe drive it around this afternoon. We'll see what happens. Okay, brake band is all in. Our linkages are all hooked up. Everything works the way it should. We're going to make one more pin that needs to go on the end of this linkage up here at the foot pedal. So Dad Strength's working on that right now. And once we get that put on, we're going to carry the final drive over here in clutch and put it back on. I'm not looking forward to that part because that is heavy, fully assembled. So good thing I got Dad Strength here. But I had a viewer ask me if we have a heated shop. Yes, we do. We can get it up to 90 degrees in here if we wanted to. And the thing about Dad Strength running around with no sleeves on, that's all the time. As long as it's above 40 degrees outside, he's in a sleeveless shirt. So that's just him. So anyways, we'll grab that final drive and get that pin in, and we'll get her put together. Yep. Well, we got it carried over the tractor, and we put a little anti-seize on the shaft just to make sure it slides in pretty easy. So now we're going to get it put in. I'll get the camera set up so that you can watch us. And we got some bolts ready. And once we get it slid in, we'll get it bolted back on. And then we'll get the sprocket back on it. Okay, so we didn't end up getting any video of actually sliding it back on because we carried it right over here and we shoved it right in. No time to put the camera on it. It was just heavy and we wanted to get it done. But it's pretty self-explanatory. Slides back in. You just got to move the lever around just to get that pin started in here. And then once you get it slid close, you got to get the brake band started around the drum, which was kind of tricky, but we got it. So now we got to pry it up a little bit just so we can get the bolts in the back side. There's 2 bolts that are in threaded holes here at the bottom, and then you got 2 bolts with nuts in them up here that you can put in and hold this on without putting a running board on. So, and this isn't oil, it's just that John Deere sealer stuff that dripped on it when I was putting it together. So now we're going to pry it up and get them bolts in. We are getting the sprocket put back on now. We're going to anti-seize the bolts really good so that we don't have to worry about them rusting in. We do that on all of our heavy equipment just to ensure no rust. So I need to go find a socket for the impact, and we'll get these tightened up, and we'll get this track wrapped back around, and then we can get our fender put back on. I figured we'd put the track back around so the fender's not in our way while we're trying to get the track up and over. Just make life a little simpler. So I don't know where that socket went. I'll find it. Now we can go ahead and tighten them up. Now we can get the track put back on. Alright, I'm going to start getting this track thrown up and over. Grab the plow. Try doing that with the D8. There's no way. Okay. Now, hopefully, Dad's strength and I can pull this around enough and get the pins back in. I have to go get some chain binders. Okay, so with Dad's strength's help, we were able to pull the track back by hand. Now all we gotta do is tap the splicer pin back in. And I'll have to line it up on the inside with a pry bar. But we'll tap that in and we'll get the retainer clip back on it. And the track will be put back together. And then we'll move on to tightening it. Now we're tightening the tracks up. These are mechanical tensioners, unlike the excavators that use a grease gun to grease them, or grease the cylinder up that pushes the idler out. These are done manually with a wrench. So we'll do this side, then we'll go on the inside and do that side and get it snugged up. That's probably fairly good for now. So now he's going to go on the inside and do the same thing. So everything feels like it should. Everything looks like it's working down in there. So the moment of truth is when we get it off the rollers and let it move on its own and see what happens. Well, we got some good news. We drove it forward as far as we could here where it got limited space, obviously, and it steered right, and then it steered left with this side. So everything seems to be working real well, except we're having a little running issue, which we're going to solve that. We haven't rebuilt the carburetor yet. I have a carburetor kit I got from New Paris Tractor Parts when we were up there. So we're going to go ahead and probably pull that carburetor off and just rebuild it now and be done with it. And we're going to drain the fuel out of the gas tank because it looks like there's a little bit of schmutz in the sediment bowl. So we're just going to drain it. I didn't put much in it to start with. So we're going to get her drained out and get that carburetor off and tore apart and get the kit put in it. And hopefully that solves its running issue. And we might put a new coil on it because yeah, it's got an international coil on it. No, it's not right.
Can't have that.
Can't have it. It's inbreeding.
Yeah, that's why the tractor don't want to run.
Yeah, so we gotta get that international coil off there. We get a genuine John Deere for it, and it's just a standard coil, of course. But John Deere painted an emblem on it one time. And then we're going to get this running board put back on, and we'll get the top cover put back on that so this does not happen again. That's what caused all this, was it sat outside without that cover on it and filled up with rainwater. So, and crap, and mice crap. So, huh?
All of the above.
Yep.
Just crap.
So we'll get her all sealed up, and everything will be the way it should be. And I also want to get, on the other side, I want to get that rubber boot and fitting put in to keep the brake rod from leaking any mud or anything into the final drive housing. The nice thing is, we got all this done by lunchtime.
Yeah, now we can go eat in good conscience.
Yeah. We said that we were going to get it back together by the end of the day. Hell, we knocked it out by, well, we had it done at about 11:45. So I think we're going to go to the Pizza Hut today.
We'll slap the fender on it and go out and climb some snow piles.
Yeah, we're going to go out and rip with it. So we're going to go, what do the snowmobilers call it?
I think rip.
Yeah, they're going to go for a rip. They're going to brop. And we're going to do that with our MC crawler.
7 miles an hour.
It's 7 miles an hour, I think, is the top speed. But if you flip this over on you, it's going to hurt a little worse than a snowmobile since it's 2,200 pounds. Well, you were trying to ride a snowmobile in the summertime.
It was August.
It was August.
It worked.
Didn't you break your thumb?
I did a lot.
Yeah. So don't do that.
Skinned my head up. Got scars.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Jumping road ditches in the summer is not the best idea.
Okay. I'm sure you were in a cutoff doing it, weren't you? Yeah, so you got major road rash.
I got boo-boos.
That boo-boo's all over. So, okay, let's go to lunch. Well, we're back from lunch now, and Dad's Strength's going to start doing what he does best. He's going to tear this marble Scheibler carburetor down and start rebuilding it. He is a wizard when it comes to carburetors and gas engines. I'm not so much.
That's tight.
That's tight. We might have to persuade that one a little bit. But anyways, we're going to get this carburetor all tore down. Once we get it tore down, we will show you the internals of it and possibly if there is a nasty problem inside of it. You couldn't get that broke loose?
I will. I'm afraid of rattling it off.
I'm losing faith in you.
Well, when I break it, remember
you're
losing faith in me.
Don't break the carburetor. I don't know if we'll find another Marvel Scheibler or Scheibler. However you say it. Scheibler sounds funny. I think it's Scheibler.
I gotta get that out.
Okay. So we got the carburetor all tore down here, and as you can see, somebody's been inside of there scraping around and some shit that was in the bottom of it. So it definitely needs cleaned. That was just full of nasty crap. So we're gonna go get us some carburetor cleaner and soak this in it really good for a while, because I'm sure that there's all kinds of other stuff hiding in there. So we'll get some of that. We got some over in the parts room. Get it soaking, and then we'll go on from there. So while Dad's Strength's in the shop working on the carburetor, I decided to come out and do a little snow plowing because we keep getting snow and we're supposed to get more. So the only thing that really wanted to start was the Bobcat and the Dozer. So I thought I'll just use the Dozer, at least the blade angle's on it. I'm just not pushing straight snow all the time. I can angle it and run it off to the side. So we're going to get the driveway all cleaned up, and because I guess they're calling for another 8 or 9 inches of snow tonight or something like that. So I don't want to get too deep and scrape up the stone, so I'm just kind of leaving about an inch of snow. Works pretty good. We were going to put the rear blade on the 4430, but it's actually gelled up because it never got any winter blend fuel put in it, as we haven't used it since last spring. So it's we got it in the shed. We're going to put a heater on it, get it warmed up, and get some winter blend put in it. Well, Dad's Strength's got the carburetor all rebuilt, the Marvel Scheibler. It's ready to go again. And he's just got to get the choke cable hooked back up, and he's going to get her bolted back on, get the throttle cable, or throttle linkage hooked up, sorry. Clifton, what the hell are you doing? Oh, good Lord. So anyways, we're going to get this all bolted back up, get some fresh gas back in her, and see how she runs this time. We counted the turns when we took everything apart on the carb, so hopefully, like Dad's Strength said, it's got him close, which he's the carburetor guy. I am not, I will admit. So
Then we're taking a sledding.
we're what?
We're taking a sledding.
You got a sled?
No?
I don't-
We can fix something
Yeah,
up.
a Dodge truck could.
Yeah, Dodge truck hood. Yeah,
No?
the truck you drove here. There we go. Yeah.
That choke all the way in.
Yeah, it's in. It's choked. It's unchoked. Sorry. So, fingers crossed,
Alright, pull it.
and the creek don't rise.
Push it. Ta-da.
Does it work? Okay, good.
Ta-da.
Okay, we'll see if she runs in a few minutes. Well, we got the carburetor on, started up, just weren't happy with the way it ran. Tried to adjust the distributor, adjust the carburetor. Carburetor adjustments seem fine. So now we're going to pull the plugs out because it just seems like it's got a miss to it. So we're going to pull the plugs out, maybe run town, get some new plugs. Try that. We're going to do a compression check too, just to see where she's at on compression.
Take it to the junkyard.
So no, we're not taking it to the junkyard,
Not
Clifton.
Not yet.
We might do an in-frame overhaul.
That
No.
was very tight.
Actually, it wouldn't take much to pull this motor out to overhaul it anyways. It's just right there.
Right here.
So,
The valve cover's bigger than the whole block.
yeah, the valve cover's bigger than the whole block. It's a cute little shit.
These are probably the wrong plug if I had to guess.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay, and they're auto lights. Needs champions. Wasn't John Deere
Copper
supposed to...
center, copper core, needs the old school.
Junk.
Old,
These are junk.
champions.
Yeah, we gotta get some champions. Mopar,
This is
right?
the one.
Mopar.
This is what I think's the culprit.
Clifton, we gonna put tri-power on
Look,
it?
No, we're not.
Look at
putting
that.
Oh,
tri-power
that's
on.
nasty.
That's just garbage.
That's garbage. Okay, let's get some
Go get
plugs.
plugs.
Okay, so we're gonna go get some plugs. Well, Clifton and I are gonna go get some spark plugs. So remember, for all your bird feed needs, come see me at Critter Corn. Why do you have your turn signal on,
I
turning
don't
out
know.
the
It's just
driveway?
habit.
Are you being safe?
I just have it.
Is it just habit?
Just habit.
Oh, and Clifton is working for no compensation, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't mess with his unemployment. So we're gonna go pick up these plugs. O'Reilly's had some. They are copper plug. They're NGKs, but they'll work for tonight. I'm gonna order a tune-up kit from Steiner Tractor because I want to get some new plug wires and coil and all that. So I'm just gonna order a tune-up kit. But for tonight, we're gonna throw some new plugs in and see if it changes its mood a little bit. Well, it is that time of the day. It's time to go home. Supper's ready. So we come to a conclusion that we're going to order a tune-up kit for it. We're going to get plugs, wires, cap, rotor, new coil, everything for it. We don't have it quite running like we want it to. We think it can run a lot better than what it is. But track's back together. It steers right and left on this side, so that's a good thing. So we did gain today. It runs well enough that we're going to throw the hood back on it and maybe tomorrow take it out and play with it for a while, drive it around. But we definitely want to get it running a lot better than what it is now because we know it's got better potential than what it is running now. So we'll be doing a tune-up on this tractor. And we done a compression check on it. It's at like 80. So Dad said he'd like to see it more around 100. But I feel like 80 is probably all right. I didn't look in the book yet to see what the compression's supposed to be. But 80 seems okay. So, but anyways, it turned out to be a good day. You know, we got it moving. I'm happy with that. You know, the clutch works like it should. Got a few little adjustments I want to make with that. I want to get the levers lined up perfectly. They should be at 22 degrees. I want to get them adjusted a little bit, and I need to adjust the brake band a little bit. But for the most part, everything's good. I'm happy with it. Track's tightened back up. So anyways, if you like this episode of Dirt Grain Steel, give me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you want to keep following this video, go ahead and subscribe, because once we get done with the MC, we're going to get Dad Strength L going. So that's going to be pretty cool. Dad Strength has an L, and we want to get it going. And we're going to be using it also because of my sister with her fresh cut flower farm that we're going to be starting. It's called Flowers from the Farm. The L is going to be used on that. The MC will be used. The 720 will probably be used for it. So all the 2 cylinders are going to have their place. So stay tuned because we're going to be working on an L. And I know an L is a favorite of the 2 cylinders also. So, but anyways, time for me to go home. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.